whose values aligns with yours,
Yeah.
and hopefully those values tell you that in a marriage relationship comes God, there's your husband, there's a wife, and then your children and everybody else,
Yeah.
right? And if you have that together as a couple,
Yeah.
all other relationships are secondary.
Yeah.
You know, they're not that important that you should allow it to come into your relationship, right?
Yeah.
So it's having that conversation with your spouse, like, okay, this friend of yours or this friend of ours, I don't like the way that they do this, or I
Yeah.
don't like the way that they did that. What do you think about this? What do you think about this thing they said, or this way that they behaved? And not necessarily attacking your spouse for the friends that they had before they met you, or the
Man,
friends
you
who
did
are
that. You
different.
did that. You did that in the past.
You know, let's
You be attacking me before. So man, I mean, how did we get past all that?
growth,
Growth, right?
maturity.
Then my wife would be like, "Oh, you know, you're the one making them disrespect
No,
me." Or
not you're the one making them. I used to say it's your fault that this friend acted disrespectfully toward me.
And I'm like, I'm not God. How did I make people do stuff? Like, I'm not a minute science, you know.
And here's the I don't know if I call it the psychology behind that. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that you purposely decided, oh, I'm going to have my friends disrespect her.
Okay.
It's that boundaries that I was talking about, right? When you set
Oh,
boundaries,
you're going to establishing boundaries
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Yeah,
when
go
you
ahead.
set boundaries, there are certain things your friends or family will not even say
Yeah.
in your ear or
Yeah.
into your relationship. Let's take, for example, let's use something so simple like phone calls. You know, when you're single, like I'll be on the phone with whoever friend forever and 12 years.
Yeah.
But when you're in a marriage relationship, when you're married, right? There are certain times that, let's say, friends of the opposite sex don't need to call you.
Yeah.
After 9 o'clock, what's a friend of an opposite sex calling?
Like for
a
me,
spouse
you can't call me once it's 9 p.m. You can't call me. But guess what? But there are people who can call me by 9 p.m. But one thing is this, right?
It's establishing that
I established that
and
understanding with my wife.
right?
But you can't call me by 9 p.m. except it's an emergency. I'll pick up if it's an emergency. But we have to. Before, man, when I just got married, I'd be like, man, what you mean, man?
Well, what
They
did
can
I
call
used
me.
to say then?
You be like,
You still living like you single.
Yeah,
That's what I used to say.
And my wife would be like, you're living like you're still single. Because I had these friends,
You're still living
they were
like
really
you're single.
toxic, you know. And I'm going to
7
tell you
a.m.
this.
You have somebody calling and talking. Oh my goodness.
And my wife would be like, man, what's
10
going
p.m.,
on?
11 p.m.
So
it's
honestly,
just,
establish the
those
boundaries. Yes.
And then your friends know, they start to realize,
Yes.
okay, there are certain things. I've known this guy for 550 years. However, their spouse
I'm married
comes
now,
first,
so
right?
hey.
So it's that behavior of you showing them that your spouse comes first. That respect automatically goes to your spouse.
So show empathy and not blame each other.
Right.
Show empathy. Because when you show empathy, like I know that my wife doesn't want people calling me late. So what I do is I say, you know what, let me just show love. So I put myself in her shoe and I tell people, please, once it's 9 p.m., don't call me.
Is it because I don't want it, or because it really is? It's kind of like respect, or
I mean,
I don't know if I said unethical.
No,
actually,
it's respect for you because when I was single, man, you can call me anytime.
Exactly.
But I'm married now, but she don't want to call. So guess what? You can't call me by 9 p.m. Yeah, you won't call me. Got to be something important. It got to be spiritual. You want prayers. You want something really spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So communicate effectively, baby. What does that mean? Effectively, everybody talks about communication. What is
communicating effectively means not talking at each other.
Yeah.
Not yelling at each other. Not pointing fingers. Not blaming. But communicating, talking to each other in respect.
So, baby, what about when we say communicating effectively? So when you identify this toxic friends, you're talking with your spouse. You say, man, this person, how is this person affecting our relationship? Is it positive? Look, talk to your spouse. And also, I want to say this.